Everyone, and welcome to Critical Thoughts. I am your host, Braxton Smith, here on this 13th day of November 2016 to discuss the results of the election. Nearly a week later, I wanted to take some time to gather my thoughts, sober up a little bit from the emotions. You know how emotions can often overwhelm our ability to critically think about things. Wanted to see how everybody else reacted, and I see that they too, probably more than me, needed to sober up from emotions before I try to have any discussion with them. So, here we are. I wanted to take a moment to talk about what happened. I'm eating a little bit of humble pie, obviously. I've been screaming for 3 years now, Hillary's going to win it, and I was wrong. Hillary didn't win it. It was Trump. But I will say, though, I wasn't entirely wrong. She did win the popular vote. And, here you have everybody going on about, oh, we got to get rid of the Electoral College. And it's funny. It's just like deja vu. It's the same thing over and over again every year. It's like last time, or what was it? I don't know, last time we had a problem with the Electoral College dealing a victory in favor of the Democrats. All the Republicans were freaking out saying we got to get rid of it. And now here it is the other way around. Shoes on the other foot. Republican benefited from it, and all the Democrats are saying, damn the Constitution. And I keep hearing people refer to us as a democracy. I just want to make it clear right out the gate. We are a republic. A democracy is mob rule. So just to clarify on that a bit. But, the old Electoral College really saved our asses again. I think actually last time it's the reason why we got George Bush instead of Al Gore. So, but some of the similarities I saw between these two, and I think why you're seeing people freak out about this one. I don't think the Democrats have had this kind of moment like the Republicans have had recently. In 2012, we had Ron Paul, that was the guy we were all pulling for. And then the shit sandwich we were handed was, again, Mitt Romney. Y'all have heard me go on and on about this. But he was basically the Bernie Sanders for the Republicans. He was the anti-establishment, just actually going to bring about change. It wasn't status quo by any means. And obviously that's why he lost. Because it's hard to change the establishment. And so you see, here you have it again, though. A lot of the Ron Paul supporters flaked off, and that they abandoned all thoughts of liberty, and they went towards Mitt Romney because anybody but Obama. And as you see what happens anytime you vote against somebody by voting for somebody, that candidate's probably going to lose. The candidate that you're voting against will very likely win. So here you have. Again, you had all the people that were all about Bernie, all about no corporate shills, no sellouts. And then you had Bernie Sanders, sell out to the corporate shill. He took his money and ran and said, "Go vote for her, everybody, because that's what I'm paid to tell you." I hate to say it, it's cold truth. I was really liking him because I truly thought he was anti-establishment. I hated his policies, but he was genuine, seemed that way anyhow. But so then you had everybody jumping on, got to go with Hillary now because just can't have Trump. And it's 2012 all over again. It's just like Groundhog's Day, same thing every time, different election, different people. So I wanted to say I think that's why a lot of Republicans are being chill about it, and they aren't, being total assholes about how a lot of the Hillary supporters are acting, because they are acting completely out of control. A lot of them, not all of them, mind you. So a lot of Republicans are being open-minded and understanding because they were there too themselves last couple elections. I myself I was kind of a doomsayer. I was like, oh, Obama's getting in. There go our rights. But, it's too often. Isn't it something we really need to question is, does the executive branch have too much power? Because when we're scared that somebody's going to take away all of our rights, one person, doesn't that sound crazy? It kind of links into my last video. Well, not the last one, but prior video I had where I was talking about we need to look more into the legislative branch. Who are we electing as our senators and our representatives and our local officials? What policies are they enforcing? Are they representing our rights? Because the fact people are freaking out about one guy getting elected is insanity. I mean, that is mob rule. That is democracy, not the good kind. So it works the other way too, though. You have people that are saying, can we have this one guy? This one guy's going to do all this. He's going to build a 40-foot wall. And I think you're asinine if you think that Donald Trump's really going to build a 40-foot wall. I mean, the amount of resources required to build that's just... I think a lot of people understand that he was just talking out his ass on that one. And, that being said, that works twofold. A lot of people freaking out about what he's going to do. He's a lot of talk. And a lot of people that are saying he's going to be great. Well, let's stand by. He's not president yet. So, I'm going to keep an eye on his policies. And I tell you what, the second he starts selling out rights on the Democrats or, liberals, however you want to put it, I've got your back. As soon as he starts trying to say that, you can't, on your private property, have your safe space or whatever, I'm going to have your back. That's a violation of your rights. Granted, safe space in a public place doesn't really exist. That's the First Amendment as well. So, a little tit for tat. I'm on your side. I'm on the Republican side. Whenever they want to grant me and save their own liberty, and I'm on the Democrat side whenever they want to vote in such a manner that guarantees me my rights and their own rights. It's just the problem us libertarians have with both y'all is that some y'all are just trying to take away rights, and it's just like, why are we doing that? That's how we're pitted against each other, because we have a difference of opinion that we try to push on each other. So let's more closely examine the policies that are being passed whenever Trump does become president, and actually call him out. You don't want to cry wolf and call him a Nazi because he advocates enforcing a jaywalking law in New York or something. It's when he really starts to bring down the hammer. Let's say he goes all crazy like FDR did when he rounded up all the Japanese. I know a lot of you Democrats out there don't like to talk about that, but it's what he did, and everybody was like, well, this is just the cost of war. Please don't sell my rights out that way. Please have my back. I've got your back on this guy. I will be sitting here on my soapbox, standing even if I have to, going on about how rights were violated and how wrong it is, and we need to turn this course around. And I expect you to do the same for me whenever Bernie Sanders becomes president in 2020, which will probably happen in reaction to this. Because that's something else I wanted to mention is the Donald Trump presidency. I see this. People are already blaming, like right out the gate, there's a quick little bloop in the stock market, and people were like, oh, look what a Trump presidency's already doing. The man's not even in office yet, and you're already blaming economic downturns he has nothing to do with. And here's the thing you need to know, is an economic downturn has been impending since 2008. We set up these policies into place. We bailed out these companies that should have died a long time ago. And now the chickens are coming home to roost 8 years later. And look at that. Shit sandwich falls right on Donald Trump's lap. And what really irks me, though, is that likely, I don't see him actually being an advocate for liberty. I don't want to write him off just yet. But what's really going to grind my gears is when he puts off this facade that he's a Republican, a capitalist, and a conservative. Those are the three words everybody associates with this guy. And logical. Obviously, you got your jackasses that are going to call him a misogynist, racist, bigot, xenophobe, whatever. Those are the three things a lot of other people that are maybe a little more informed but don't really understand his policies are going to call him. And all these other people that are calling him all these other names are at least going to think of him in that light. And so they're going to attach those words to him. And then whenever somebody comes up with a policy that's capitalist or free market, they're going to say, well, look what Donald Trump did when the market crashed, and it'll be during his presidency. But I just want to make it clear that no matter who got into office, could be Jesus Christ himself, is not going to save this economy. Crashes are part of the cycle of the economy, and the thing is we've set it off for so long that inevitably there will be an epic crash, and I'm just I'm hoping people are intelligent enough to see, watch the other hand. That's what I've been trying to do with this whole thing as it's gone down. So, yeah, I think that's about all I got. Yeah, leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about the turnouts of the election. And as usual, here we are at Critical Thoughts, breaking through the white noise to bring you the media that matters.